Yo, hello. It's been a while since the last video. Apologies for that. Today we got Hard Will. These are our stats today. If you want to go over this, we won't be needing any of this today because we have really good event stats these days. So going over to the next page, we are going to be 28k around for the 300% boss or 300% PDR bosses. For Will, we are clocked in around 159%. Again, this is just like a guesstimate as to how strong you are for this boss fight. It's not going to be like, one to one. If it tells you can't do it, doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot do it. And if it tells you can do the boss, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can because, skill issue and whatnot. But it does a pretty decent job at just giving you an idea of just how strong or how difficult the fight would be for you. So that's where we're in right here. Again, I try to keep these runs around 15 minutes, give or take. Sometimes it goes a little bit longer. Sometimes a little bit faster too, just depending on how well I play. For the end game, this is the gear I'm rocking. Still got these totems. Have these 3 filler ring slots just so that when I ring swap, it doesn't give me like that weird message. Genesis weapon still. Downgraded to a Sierra hat for this. Still got the shoes on for the move speed. Clean dagger. 5% boss metal. As for event stats, you can see that's from over here. We got 40 boss, 20 attack. And at the very bottom, we got another additional 25 boss as well. So that's super nice. And let's get started and not yap too much in the beginning. Let me refresh these buffs. Okay. So Will's pretty interesting in the sense that in phase 1, there's 2 main bodies. And your progression on one body doesn't necessarily reflect for the other bodies either until 2 minutes have passed. Whichever body has a healthier amount of HP, the lowest one will match the highest one. So it's important to try to balance out all your damage when you can. You don't want to do too much damage to one side. But since we have our origin burst in the very beginning, it's kind of hard to like balance it, honestly. The best we can do is just make sure we have Asura and the second explosion of our origin on the second half of this fight. Oh, I forgot to use a green pot as well. Oops. That's awkward. Where is it? We're an iframe there. And again, we're not using FAMs. We're not going to use Jenny iframe. We're not going to use our dummy either. Jump over that real quick. And very soon, you're going to see a message pop up in the middle. It tells you that, oh, there's a distortion in the space or something. Yeah, there you go. So there's no eyeball here. Go to the next side. The eyeball should be, or was supposed to be there, but we missed it. But we don't die. We keep our door. Swap over. And as soon as this reaches the HP threshold, we're going to go into the test phase. Now, the test phase is really simple. We're going to swap sides to blue. That's the little sigil you have to look out for. Now, some thing spawns in the middle. You got to start damaging it. You grab this little yellow orb, and it puts a projectile bubble in the middle. And now we're safe from the test. There will be a screen crack. We don't die. We don't lose door. We're chilling. If for whatever reason that you can't get the purple bear or this berry up in time, you can use your iframe. If you really need to, you can even use your Asura. But won't be needing to do that this time around. So I didn't use my 90s earlier just because of the HP threshold was kind of awkward. But we'll be using it right now. So our cooldowns are going to be a little bit funky and decent. But that's just something you have to live with in this fight specifically. It's not really something you can really avoid. Oh, we should be in purple. Whoops. So blue's already pretty low. We want to get purple as low as blue so that when the 2-minute timer is up, the heal won't be as large. What probably will happen though is that it's definitely going to heal again. And right now we're just working towards making that heal not as large. Oh yeah, so with this gauge that we have, it's called Moonlight in this boss fight. getting hit by his attacks will lower your Moonlight, and you need Moonlight in order to swap sides. Okay, we're gonna swap sides here. We're gonna look for a wing swap as well. So he healed. And again, like, we're gonna be overkilling this boss fight in random thresholds, awkward thresholds. It is what it is. I would say the number one priority for dodging is those balls that spawn from the spider eyes. Well, I moved this when it was 0.1 HP. Okay, go back to blue. That's where it is. So these balls that chase you, those are pretty important to dodge as well. But the balls that come at you from an angle, those ones reduce your Moonlight the most, I believe. So be wary of those. And of course, keep an eye on Will. He'll knock you back and reverse you. He has the giant tornado that you can jump over if you time it well. Otherwise, you gotta burn an iframe. Okay, so even though you hit him right now, you won't deal damage until you see him clutch his chest like that just now. Alright, we got forcibly swapped, but that's fine, honestly. Our progression in the HP bar is pretty even now. Do some work on the blue side now. Venom Burst. So we do have our Origin up now, but we're definitely just going to hold on to it instead. If we use it, we're just going to Giga Overkill it. I think it's also more important to just have an easier time in P2 instead. P2 is pretty trivialized if you were to get familiars to heal you in any capacity. Look for a wing swap here. We got forcibly moved, that's fine. Go back to blue. Get ready to see a test. Okay, it's on blue side, so we're safe here. Look for another ring swap. Very good. So that I was saying, if you have healing familiars, P2 is really, really chill. If you don't have healing familiars, you gotta get some fancy footwork going in there. Moonlight in P2 is important because it allows you to heal. So if you have enough Moonlight, you can press it, and you can use a potion button. And if you are on time, you can potion twice per Moonlight consumption. So dodging is also obviously really important because if you get hit by stuff, your Moonlight goes down, and that means you have less Moonlight in order to consume to allow yourself to heal. Alright, again, we're going to be saving our Origin here. Actually, nah, yeah, we're definitely going to save it. Weave in and out of attacks. Spotter comes out. Dodge that dash. High frame. We're gonna use our Moonlight to heal here. Up jump. Moonlight to heal. Run away to dodge. Moonlight to heal again. Oh, I accidentally put down my dummy. Whoops. We might take a death here soon. Oh, that's Thor. Okay, well, I was correct when I said that. And we're gonna take another death there, maybe. Oh, man. I baited that wrong. But anyways, that's fine. You know, you will die in this boss pretty easily. I'm just gonna Origin here. Okay. When the floor is cracked, you want to get hit by these little legs. And if the floor is not cracked, you want to dodge them. So we can just chill in the corner here. We probably didn't do Origin there, but it's fine. I'm sure you guys can probably optimize your damage a lot better than me. Having watched this video. I'm just kind of going in this pretty blind. I'm not really sure what my damage thresholds are like. Just kind of going off of Maple Scouter telling me how difficult or how chill this boss will be. Might to heal here. Dodge that dash. We'll do our 90 soon. Final cut Blade Storm. Moonlight to heal again. Oh, also, I can't really explain how to tell the difference between him hitting forward versus him hitting backwards. You just kind of know. It's easier when you're in solo play because you know you're the only one being targeted. So when you see him winding up for an attack, just know that he's going to be attacking where you last were, your last known location. But in party play, I feel like when you do the boss enough, you'll just figure out and see the subtle differences in knowing if it's going to hit you or not. That one's obvious. Like he turned around to do an attack, like to face away from me intentionally. That one's pretty easy to tell. Look for a wing swap here. Oh yeah, with Darkseid you can just go through the web pretty safely. Actually, I want to opt to not use my full 3-minute burst here. Just use 90s. And we'll just chip out. That way we only need to wait 90 seconds for our full burst for when we enter P3. And I will say, I'm not playing the greatest right now because admittedly I haven't really done this boss at like a more difficult threshold because it's been a while. But some things, you know, kind of remain true when you do this boss enough. You just understand how to dodge and what to look out for. All right, we have like less than 2 minutes of our Say Ram's elixir left. So hopefully we can get our full 3-minute burst off before it expires. We won't have our origin for it, unfortunately. But that's fine. P3 dodging and doing them as much damage as it can is going to be very important, because if you aren't dodging well enough and you're not cleansing the webs, you're going to get webbed in, and it's really difficult to come back from the boss when you're webbed in. Not that it's impossible, but it's not a good time. So orange eyes, that was orange eyes, means you stay within the same area you were in. White eyes means you gotta go away from the area. So we might have to do that soon. You can duck it too if you really time it well, but it's extremely risky. And just for the style points, there is a practical use to that, and that is, well, when you're getting webbed in and you have little to no space to start dodging stuff, that's when you gotta start getting a little risky with it and start ducking those white eyes attacks. And if you can't tell by its eye color, you can tell by the position of his body. When he's like really tall, that's when he's doing the white eyes attack, and that's when you want to move. So there you go, like he's really tall, right, in that moment. And even when he's like more hunkered down towards the ground, that's when you know he's doing the orange eyes, and you want to stay in one spot. Right there, you also saw me use my Hero's Will there, because I got hit by one of its attacks, and it knocked me away and reversed me. When you get hit by these webs, by the way, it also skill locks you. So you want to be careful about that. So that's where using your wills will be very smart and resourceful. That was close. Alright, when this poison expires, I will use that as an opportunity to ring swap. So when you have that poison debuff on you, it makes it so that people around you are going to be taking a damage AoE over time. But you also obtain 25% final damage for the duration of the poison too. So it's super nice for damage. So if there's ever an opportunity for you to line up your burst with that, you can, and it's a lot of damage output during that moment. Dodge that. And also, if you're really struggling to attack, like you can put down the fountain to heal up. But it's important that you're not just standing still and just taking everything to the face, and that you're doing your best to dodge and cleansing these webs as much as you can. You also notice that I'm focusing most of my cleanses on the left side. For some reason, the right side of the map, webs spawn a lot slower compared to the left side of the map. So if you're just constantly cleansing the left side of the map, you'll be fine for the most part. I'm gonna look for a ring swap here. Alright, we're gonna wait for the poison debuff here. There it is. And we're just gonna rip our burst for some big damage. Doing our best to cleanse a little bit while we're bursting as well. The best opportunity to cleanse also, if you might have noticed, is that whenever he does the white eyes, that's usually when I want to try to cleanse, because I'm more going to be moving to dodge. And when he's doing white eyes or orange eyes, he's invulnerable. The only way that you can deal damage as a dual blade is if you're using Venom Burst during those attacks. But it's like a tiny bit of damage that you get. Dash here. Okay, we really gotta do our best to dodge these next few patterns. Get rid of that big web. Oh, frick. Oh! Oh, no. Okay, that's our first test in P3. Res. Spawn in time for the poison buff as well, so that's super nice. Oh god. I don't have resistance link. I forgot to put that on. Oh my! My freaking Moonlight expired. Okay, it's getting a little sketchy. But it's fine. Duck? I couldn't duck in time. Frick. But right there, ducking the dodge, that would have been really important. And nice to have. I'm on a rope. I don't want to be on a rope. Holy. Okay, I want to make sure I put resistance link on. So at this point, we are webbed in, but that's fine. It's still pretty low. We do have 4 lives still. I'm pretty confident that it will die in the next burst. And you'll still have Moonlight Generation as well, even when you're dead. Kind of. You'll see. It would be really awkward if I die on this boss. At this point of the video. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. Using our wills strategically here. This freaking sucks. I want to lose poison buff here as well. Ah, that timing's so awkward. Oh no. Okay, that's fine. Just gotta play a little bit slower. 2 lives, less than 5% HP, comebackable. If anything, this is just showcasing you that it's really important that you have resistance link for this boss fight and that you're really doing your best to dodge. Because when, like I said before, when you get webbed in, it's really hard to come back from. Oh, that had press will. Okay. It's fine. It's actually gonna die here. Don't worry. We're not dying out here. We're gonna wait for this to come back up. Okay, not even close. Oh, that was a lot closer than it needed to be. But like I said, it's very important that you do your best to dodge in P3 so that you don't get webbed in like that. If you do get webbed in, some of your outs is obviously having resistance link like I did there. You'll have the 8-second iframe for resistance link that allows you to deal damage to will and get a little bit of moonlight back. You saw that every time I die, I got some moonlight back to get some cleanses off. Additionally, well, if you're liberated, then you'll have Genesis iframe to allow you to live longer. You have your final cut that gives you 3-second iframe. Chains of Hell for another 3 seconds if you get 2 parts off of it. Using your will also allows you to ignore the statuses of the web. So you're not going to be skill off for 3 seconds, but you'll still be taking tick damage. So that's pretty dangerous. So you do have 2 wills that you can use. I tried using this one earlier, but I was too low in HP because it cost 5%. So I couldn't use it. But yeah. If you have any questions, I will answer them in the comments. I feel like I didn't really have too much to say for this boss fight in terms of like strategies and whatnot. I think it's just because I'm way too experienced in this boss fight to really think about how someone who's not as experienced will really tackle this boss fight. But for P3, like it's incredibly important that you're doing your best to dodge. Something that I will say though is that in P2, you don't necessarily have to phase him right away. If your burst is coming up soon, you could just stay in P2 a little bit longer and phase as needed, so that the moment you land into P3, you're buffing up, you're waiting for the poison buff for 25 FD, and then you rip your burst then. That would give you a really big head start on how much HP he has left, and it's less important that you have to like be cleansing and dodging as much as you can. Still really important that you do that, but you have a much larger buffer if you can get like a perfect burst off in P3. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments. Apologies again for not having posted in a while, just got busy. And for the next video, so we just did William. We will be doing Gloom, then Hilla, then Darknell, probably Black Mage, and maybe we end the series there. If there's a huge demand for like Saren and Kalos, we'll think about it. I don't really know if I want to do calling. I feel like calling is kind of a... I mean, how many of you guys are really going to be watching the calling video to get advice? I feel like at that point, you guys were probably going to be gamers already. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.